Okay guys, today I'm going to make a case length gauge because I don't want to buy one. And I want the case to fit my chamber, so I'll be using a once fired case instead of the one you buy. So this is how I did it. This, hopefully this will focus on this. Well, let's see here. Maybe I'm too close. This is a piece of threaded rod. Okay, it's a 1024. It's like 3/16 of an inch threaded rod. And what I did was I took heat shrink tubing and I covered the whole shaft of the rod except for the very tip with the tubing, so that when you're sliding in and out of your chamber and your receiver, it won't scratch anything. And then we have to take a case and screw it on here so that we can put a bullet in it and then measure the case length. I mean, the whole thing is going to cost next to nothing, especially if you already have the tools. You're going to need a drill bit. You're going to need a tap and die, and then the normal stuff you already have with power tools of some sort. I'm going to use a drill press, but you can use a hand drill if you want. I just want to make sure it's steady. So the first thing we have to do is knock the old primer out of here, and then drill the hole. So I'll run this through my, I just want to neck size it. I don't want to size the whole case. Because I want it to fit the chamber so I can get an accurate reading. So I'll just run it through that. There, that's neck sized, all done. And the primer's out of it. So the next thing we have to do is drill a hole in the end of it. Now, I found the easiest way to do that is to use a case gauge if you have one and drop it in there, and then that'll hold it for you so that you got everything square. And it's easy to drill the center because you got the primer hole already there. Now I used the 11/64 drill bit, the neck size under the 3/16, because obviously if you use 3/16, there's nothing for the threads to bite into. You might even be able to go a little smaller with it, like 5/32, but the 11/64 seems to work for this. You can use a bigger rod if you want to. You don't have to use this rod. These things are a couple bucks at the hardware store. I don't remember what I paid for it. I actually think I had it for something else, but anyways, I'll drill the hole. I'll be right back. And that's simple. Got the hole all drilled in there. Let's see if it'll... So that's all set. Then we take the tap and tap the hole. Get it started. Make a few passes, get it going, clean it up. There. That's all done. Now, check this, make sure it threads in there, and it does. Like I said, it's a 1024, so that's the tap. I got the taps at Harbor Freight they were next to nothing too. And for this kind of stuff, they work great. Now you have to, this case is stuck in there, so you got to drive that out of there. And that's that simple. Drive that out. I don't need that anymore. And that's all set for that. Now, when you resize these, then your bullet won't fit anymore, because you want it to, if you use just a once fired case, I'll show you here. if you use a once fired case, I gotta deburr it. You want to deburr it too, so there's no burrs, and deburr it, can't chamfer it. And there we go. But anyways, the bolt slides right in and out, and that's not going to work, because you have to have a little bit of tension on that neck with this system to make it work. The one that Hornady has, yeah, you don't want, there's no tension on that because you can lock down the sliding rod, but this is a lot simpler, but it's different. So you have to do it just slightly different. So what I do is I take this, then I take a Dremel with a little cutting bit on it, and then I cut it down a little bit on both sides. Well, that was handy. That case went off into the outer limits, into another dimension or something. I have a rubber mat on the floor, and I can't find it. I don't know where it went, but I can't find it. So I made another one while I was out, and we'll cut this one. Hopefully I won't drop this one. If you just cut the slice in it, go about halfway down the shoulder with your slice, one on each side. There. And now you might want to take a little sandpaper and go around that just to get rid of any rough edges from the sanding. Then you can just take your bullet and slide it in there. Now you'll see that you can slide it in and out by hand, but it does have tension on it because you neck sized it. Cutting the groove give you the relief, but not too much. It's actually perfect. So there's your case length. Homemade case length gauge. Like I said, you can just pull the bullet out if you haven't got any lube on your fingers, and then you can slide it back in. When you push it into the gun, the lands will push this bullet back, and then you can measure it. And by using a smaller shaft here, you can measure the you can measure it with it right on the thing. You don't have to unscrew it. If you want to, you can. You'll get a slightly more accurate measurement, but that'll give you tell you exactly where your lands are, and go from there. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'll pick up a little bit of this stuff, and I'll put the rifle up here on the counter and show you how you do it. I'll be right back. Okay, now we're back. Now I took the bolt out of this. I made this thing like 30 years ago. I have a Tipton gun vise thing, but it's way too big to fit on the bench, so I still use this 30-year-old handmade thing I made back, like I said, a long time ago when I was a kid. Anyways, it was a long time ago since I was a kid. So we got this all done, and that doesn't want to focus. Okay. So we'll take this and you slide it in your chamber, and then push it and pull it back out. So then we're going to take a measurement. Got to get it back to inches here. Okay, and we'll see what we got. Like I said, you could take it off of here. It would be slightly more accurate that way, but so we got 2.890. Okay, let's try this again. We'll pull it out. You want the shoulder to seat against the chamber on the case. And you do this several times till you get like an average. Well, 2.890. Try that again. Oops, I went the wrong way. I got to pull it out. And 2.8905. So this is, as you can see, this is plenty accurate enough way to do this, to find out what your chamber is. So you put her in there and push it in. .890. So I'm gonna write that down because that's what it is. That seems long, but 2.890. Okay. Here's a factory round, and that's 2.782. I wonder how long the magazine is in this thing. I haven't looked at it yet. Like, if you've watched any of the videos on this, you know it's I just got this gun, so I haven't had a chance to do a lot of stuff with it yet. Now, let's see here. Oh, 3.0 it looks like. Where's that thing here? Well, try that. It actually measures a little shorter once you take it off the thing. Okay, 3.005. Let's see what we get here. Yep. Well, the magazine's plenty long enough to take the longest round I can shove into it. So we're all set. Now all I have to do is load up some ammo. I'll probably start about 20 thousandths off the lands. That always seems to be a good place to start with these ELD bullets, and then we'll go from there. That's pretty much it for this video. You've got the idea now on how you can make your own and how to do it. And not sure what the next video will be, but I'm sure there'll be something. Have a good one, guys.